Right, mu Zimbabwe, mu Cape Town, mu South Africa, a logistical breakdown left an estimated 2,000 Zimbabwean national stranded. 2,000 national Zimbabweans stranded at a transit hub in Cape Town today. The incident unfolded after a fleet of repatriation buses arrived only to turn around and depart completely empty. The emergence, documented in a live broadcast all over social media, points to a sudden collapse in funding and coordination. The transport plan was tied to a highly publicized $1 million humanitarian pledge by prominent controversial Zimbabwean billionaire Tagwirei. According to local reports, massive crowds had gathered at the designated terminal in Cape Town expecting scheduled transport back to Zimbabwe. The repatriation drive follows intense pressure on regional authorities to assist thousands of Zimbabwean migrants looking to return home voluntarily amid strict ongoing immigration enforcement deadlines across South Africa. When the long distance buses arrived, the scene quickly devolved into chaos. The number of travelers waiting to board far exceeded initial capacity estimates. More critically, the bus drivers refused to board any passengers, citing a complete failure of payment from the program's coordinators. Faced with massive unpaid for operation and escalating logistical confusion, the transport operators ultimately made the decision to withdraw, driving the empty fleet away from the terminal and leaving roughly 2,000 people high and dry. Let's talk about the $1 million pledge and logistical realities. The sudden collapse of today's transport operation has raised serious questions about the Bridging Gaps Foundation, a charitable organization run by Tagwirei and his wife Sandra. Just days prior, the foundation had pledged a massive $1 million injection into to finance the evacuation of up to 20,000 stranded citizens from various South African municipal hubs. The funding was intended to cover the direct costs of hiring private bus fleets, coordinating safe passage to the Beitbridge border post, and managing onward transit into Zimbabwe. The Zimbabwean Ministry of Local Government and Public Works formally accepted Tagwirei's private funding on June 26, delegating the procurement of vehicles and coordination of roadside logistics directly to the billionaire's foundation. However, today's failure, Zimbabwe, suggests that translating a massive financial pledge into functional, real-time cross-border transport is proving far more complex than anticipated. So there are growing humanitarian pressures. The context surrounding these voluntary repatriations is fraught with tension. Over the last several years, millions of Zimbabweans have resided in South Africa, driven across the border by prolonged domestic economic instability, currency crisis, and lack of employment. However, with South Africa's recent implementation of stricter immigration protocols and the passing of major repatriation deadlines, thousands of undocumented or unrenewed nationals have found themselves facing sudden displacement. In Cape Town, temporary camps and repatriation centers, such as the site in Epping, have been overwhelmed by families seeking a safe route home. Harare's reliance on private sector billionaires like Tagwirei highlights the fiscal constraints of the Zimbabwean government, which has openly appealed to churches, development partners, and wealth entrepreneurs to foot the bill for the mounting humanitarian crisis. Tagwirei's central role in this migration response has drawn sharp scrutiny from political observers. The billionaire businessman has been under strict United States sanctions since 2020 and United Kingdom sanctions since 2021 over allegations of public corruption and the misuse of state resources linked to government agricultural financing programs. Tagwirei has constantly maintained his innocence. For the 2,000 people left waiting on the tarmac in Cape Town, the geopolitical undercurrents matter far less than immediate relief. As night approaches, local organizers and independent civil society groups are scrambling to find emergency shelter and food for the stranded travelers, while demanding answers from the Bridging Gaps Foundation regarding when or if the promised funding will be cleared to bring the buses back. Ndo zviri kuitika izvi muri Zimbabwe. Ndo news dzasvika kwatiri kuti pane vanhu vari stranded patadza kubhadharwa mari, mabhazi atadza kusenga vanhu. So it's bad and it's very bad for those people vari mumapaki vari machi. So tichida kuona zvinhu zvakadaro zvichinjwa. These kind of programs, in the first place, we don't expect kuti paiye kubudikire mwashiri ndo shamwari yamunhu mutapa ndozivana kwanza nanyatsimba mutota ndozivana nachi ayo. Tinoda kuti government, state, our government must have budget for stuff like this, emergencies like this, and that man be channeled through the state institutions, and then yosvika kuvanhu. Mabhazi mazuku angadai akandwa paSouth Africa, machichi, mastate buses and other chichianimaiza. Patopiwa macontracts kumabuses atoziva muno makambani ane mabhazi muno votosendewa paSouth Africa votonosenga vanhu. Handiti as simple as that. Kwete kuti kwanze tichazokutaura naye vachivhaya vachazotaura nani. Is this still a state or makuda kuita nyika yedu chivillage? But Zimbabwe will never be a village. So thank you for watching. Peace.